whispering now. Okay.
Why are we listening? You recording?
No, yeah.
All right. I'll call this meeting to order. Good evening. Thanks for being here. My name is Eli Saban. I represent Ward 7 on the Board of Alders. I have the pleasure of chairing this committee. I'll start by reading the notice and then have my colleagues introduce themselves. Board of Alders, New Haven notice. The Health and Human Services Committee will meet in person on Thursday, March 28, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. in the Board of Alders Chamber, 165 Church Street, second floor, New Haven, CT. To deliberate and act on LN 2024-0105, resolution of the Board of Alders of the City of New Haven to accept funds for the City of New Haven senior centers for fiscal year 24 through fiscal year 2026 in the amount totaling $235,535 from the State of Connecticut State Unit on Aging, and LN 2024-0162, resolution of the Board of Alders of the City of New Haven to accept funds for the Dixville New Allville Senior Center transportation for FY24 and FY25 in the amount totaling $100,000 from the State of Connecticut State Unit on Aging. These items are on file and available for public inspection in the Office of Legislative Services, 165 Church Street, New Haven. Per order, Honorable Eli Saban, Chair. Attest, Honorable Michael Smart, City Clerk. If you need an accessibility-related accommodation, please contact 203-946-7651 or 203-946-8582. In accordance with the City of New Haven COVID-19 policies, masks are now optional. Public may send comments, public testimony at newhavenct.gov. And if my colleagues want to introduce themselves, Stephanie.
Kiana Flores, Ward 1.
Captain Singh, Ward 5.
Sarah Miller, Ward 14.
Teresa Maria, Ward 12.
Carolyn Tommy Smith, Ward 9.
Thank you, colleagues. And if you want to introduce yourself and provide your name and address for the record, and then begin the presentation.
Tommy Beal, Director of Elderly. Oh, I'm so sorry.
No.
Tommy Beal, Director of Elderly Services, 310 Gulf Street, New Haven, Connecticut.
Me?
Go ahead, introduce yourself.
Henry Murphy, Ward 11.
Yes, Steve.
And so with the proposed allocation from the state, I would like to be able to expand services for the seniors of New Haven. Currently, we operate our senior centers daily, Monday through Friday, from the hours of 8:30 to 4 p.m. Our scope is to be able to reach those persons ages 55 and up, and from 55 to 65, we have a large majority of the population that are still working. And so it is my intention to be able to have extended day program hours to be able to reach that population and bring them in for services that they are afforded that they may not be able to obtain because we are only open during their working hours. We would like to be able to bring resources to the community. And so we want to be able to have the centers open to be able to bring creative ideas, do new projects, but to not be able to cut the day short as well. We do have some of our seniors that attend regularly, but at 4 o'clock, it seems like the day is ending for them and they're just kind of getting geared up. So we do want to make sure that we have some new options and new things available. When we operate the senior centers right now, each senior center has some form of a computer lab. What we are recognizing is that those numbers are very small. And so even within the funding, I am requesting to have mobile computer labs. So that way the seniors can still interact with each other as a group. The computer labs will be in a stored locked cabinet, but they can still congregate with each other in the main room and multiple seniors can enjoy the services. This way we can also bring in instructors that can teach upwards to 12 people at a time, opposed to the 3 that the computer labs currently accommodate. Also looking to be able to increase our supplies. And so right now, I am always asking the staff, what are we doing? What are some of the activities that we have taken place? And for the most part, the supply is limited. And so wanting to be able to have recreational supplies on hand, so that way we have a stored cabinet, a stored resource center, and not a matter of we want to do this project, let's order these items, but that these things are readily available. And we want to be able to do this so that way the interaction between the staff and the seniors is seamless, opposed to any hesitation in services and or seniors feeling as though staff are not prepared or equipped or willing to host some of these events that we've seen taking place.
Thank you. And so just to clarify, the information you just shared, was that about the first item on our agenda specifically?
Yes, I'm sorry, I thought For the 235,
Yes.
535, yes, it
Just
was.
making sure. We're on track. Great, thank you. Do we have any questions from members of the committee? Alder Smith.
Thank you so much. If you were to, and when you extend the hours, are there any, and you mentioned a couple of these, are there any specific kinds of programs that you feel like in those hours you'd especially want to prioritize?
So I would like to be able to prioritize the computer
Right.
technology course. That is one thing that we feel is missing. We would like to be able to incorporate a cooking component, something that the communities have definitely been seeking, and it was done previously. So we want to be able to restore that opportunity as well. The other thing is trips. So a lot of our trips take place during the day, but a lot of the seniors are also looking for trips to take place after those hours as well. And transportation costs is quite expensive. And so this would also be able to aid in cutting the cost with some of the transportation fees that we absorb.
Literally answered my question. I was gonna ask about trips and things like that, because I know they like to keep busy and stuff.
They do.
You know, I absolutely commend you for taking time with our elderly,
Oh,
our
thank you.
seniors.
Thank you.
Alder Smith.
I just one additional question, just in addition to funding support, is there anything else that we can provide or the community can provide to help support when you extend the hours to provide those kinds of resources or events or programs?
Absolutely, reaching your constituents for as much information, and so that is also a part of this as well, is being able to reach all the constituents and having the support to do so. And so we recognize that we can target those that come to us, but we have a large majority of seniors that we need to still be able to reach. We want to be able to do that through an outreach through our tax freeze program, which is currently taking place. We want to be able to do that through our farmers market outreach. And so we are looking to get more seniors into the doors. And even if they don't stay for the day programming, we want them to take advantage of the different referrals and resources that we do provide. And so we want to be able to have the support of the alders so that way we reach those gaps that we currently are not filling.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Colin. Any, Alder Miller?
Thank you for the information. It sounds great to have more dollars for more programs. With regard to Atwater specifically, have you given thought to how extended hours for senior programming might complement and or conflict with more programming for young people in the building?
Yes, so our thought is with the reconstruction of Atwater, that the space will allow us to be able to do that. We are looking to be able to still have the after-school program take place so within the center, if I'm facing outward to the right side of the building, but that the seniors would be able to use currently what we consider like our conference room, and what will soon to be the dance studio. And so still being able to have the space, but also being able to structure it. So that way the rooms are reserved and that way the programs can come in and fit both needs. Also, intergenerational programming. So not having all the programs being exclusive to each after-school program or to the seniors, but seeing what programs we can bring that will bring them together as well.
Great, thanks.
Excellent. Any other questions for colleagues?
And Atwater is the leading force behind the cooking program.
Okay. I can't wait to go.
I have one quick question. I was wondering, in terms of extended hours, how many days in a month, in a year, do you expect that would be possible? What would be the new hours?
Yes, so we would like to roll it out for 3 days per week for Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Friday just being that it's the end of the weekend and seeing what participation may or may not look like. We want to start with that first, and we want to be able to, in the summertime, be able to extend the hours between 6 and 6:30. The winter time may vary. A lot of seniors are not comfortable traveling once it gets dark. And so that is something that we will actually survey to gauge the seniors' feedback on how late is too late. Either way, we'll still be looking around the 6 o'clock mark, but what may change is whether or not it goes into 7, depending upon the program.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions from colleagues? Seeing none, do you have other information you want to provide on the second
Sure.
grant?
So with the second grant, while it says Dixville New Hallville, I would like to make note that the reason it's specific to that senior center is because initially when the funding became available through the state had identified senior centers throughout the state of Connecticut that would receive the funding. And Dixville New Hallville was that center that was given those dollars. And so we still had to make those funds available solely for Dixville. Dixville is one of our larger, more vibrant sites in terms of participation for the community. And so we thought the dollars would be best spent trying to supplement the dollars that we're spending currently on their daily transportation to accommodate the needs of the special trips that they are currently doing. And so when we offer trips, it's not just for those that attend the senior centers, it's for all seniors in the city of New Haven. Most of the trips that we've hosted under my reign has predominantly been with Dixwell Newhallville seniors attending. And so whereas other senior centers may have one bus, Dixwell can easily fill 2 to 3 buses. And so this would allow us to accommodate them without any concerns as to how we would transport them, specifically because we also do provide transportation for those seniors that need special accommodations. And so we do resource transportation out to M7 transportation. And so those dollars too come with a higher cost. And so wanting to make sure that we can have that income available to make sure that the trips do not cease because of a budgetary issue, but that we can provide that to them.
Thank you. Any colleagues have any questions?
What does outreach look like when you have a trip? Like for people who are in the elderly buildings who might not be connected to the center, how do they find out?
So we call them our partners. And so we have a communication line that goes to all of the housing sites. We reach out to their resident services coordinators. In the event that a resident services coordinator is not present, we do contact their management team. We provide flyers if they request them, and we do a reach out to them. So they receive a last email as well. They get the same communication that the elderly services specialists at the centers receive. And so they are on the same thread. The housing sites, as well as other senior programs, receive the same information at the time that the centers receive it, just to make sure that the information is streamlined. And so we try to get that out to them along with a busing reservation form. So we can use Bella Vista, for example. When I communicate with them, they'll receive the flyer, they'll receive a sign-up sheet, and then they will reach out to their seniors to see who's interested. They'll send that form back to us, and that's how we create the transportation log for the trips to take place. And right now, we have a partnership with roughly 23 sites.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Do you have a relationship with Elm City Communities?
Yes, we have a great relationship. I would like to think we have a great relationship with Elm City
Could
Community.
you explore on that a little bit, how you work with them in terms of advertising these trips, et cetera?
Yes, so with Elm City Communities, they have different housing sites that they work with. So not only am I in contact with LaToya McCrae, I'm also in contact with Gayatri Reyna, who is the lead for their resident services coordinators. The one unique thing about them is that they also allow me to communicate directly with their resident services coordinators, so that information gets to them firsthand. Many of them create newsletters for their housing sites and developments, and so then they're able to send the information directly to their residents, not only through our outreach, but for theirs internally as well.
Thank you. It seems like you're doing a good job in outreach into these seniors, so
Thank you.
thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Of course. Any other questions from colleagues? I have a quick question, which is I was wondering in terms of attendance at the events, if you have a sense of like the average number of seniors who are going on some of these trips.
Yes, so I would say that Holiday Hill and the Big E are our 2 largest attended events in regards to a bus trip. Last year, we transported over 300 seniors to the Big E. The Holiday Hill, we had a bit of a hiccup. They sold out of tickets for one of the first times in quite some years. And so whereas typically there's over 200 seniors from New Haven transported to Holiday Hill, last year the numbers were quite low, and we were around like the 63 mark. But we are on top of it this year. All housing sites are aware, and it wasn't unique to just the department, but it was the numbers sold very quickly last year. If we had until August to purchase tickets, I think they were sold out mid-July, which has not happened from my understanding with communication. And then we do have our senior luncheon that is coming up on May 14th. And that event, we hosted last year over 220 seniors to be able to recognize seniors that have volunteered in their communities as well. And so that is another largely attended event where we do provide transportation.
That's great. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Good to get some color on what's happening.
Yes,
Big E
yes.
sounds fun. Alder Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Just one last small question. Speaking of the different trips, do you have anything that's on your wish list? Something that you would dream of being able to include?
I would love to be able to do a trip to Sight and Sound. This is a trip that a lot of seniors talk about. I've never been, I'm not too familiar with it, but when they speak of it, they light up. Another trip that the seniors are very interested in, they like to take trips to the casino. I say it's a wish list because while we are transporting adults, it is a concern when we have such a large venue such as a casino to make sure that there's like adequate staffing and support. And so I say it's a wish list just because I want to be able to do it without any reservations. I want to kind of go with an open mind and everyone is, going to have a great time. They come back smiling, but my nerves are usually a wreck. And that just comes from working with youth and wanting there to be one person per 8 seniors, and they're like, no, we're okay. And so I want to be able to provide that to them as well.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Any last questions? All right, I think we're all set.
Awesome.
Thank you so much for your presentation.
Thank you.
We will now open up for public testimony. So if there's anybody in the public wishing to speak, second time, is there anybody from the public wishing to speak? And a third time, is there anybody from the public wishing to speak? And seeing no one from the public wishing to speak, do I hear a motion to close the public portion of the meeting?
Motion to close the public portion.
Second.
Seeing moved in second, all in favor of closing public portion of the meeting, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Public portion meeting is now closed, and I think we could probably move both of these items together. So do I hear a motion to move?
Motion to move these 2 items.
Second.
Hearing it moved in second, all in favor or discussion on the items before us? All saying.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. These are pretty straightforward. These are money that coming from the state and not from the city. So I applaud them for going on to these grants so they could improve their program. Thank you.
I'll say I agree with all they're saying. I think it's great that we're getting this funding and appreciate the work that the Department of Elderly Services is doing to make sure our seniors have lots of opportunities to get out and about and build community and have fun. So thank you for the work you're doing. And if there are no other comments from members of the committee, all in favor of moving these 2 items, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? The items are passed. And do we hear a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Hearing moved in second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We are adjourned. Good work, everybody.